Now then, we're here to talk about the 4 individual leadership styles. Let's draw ourselves a nice big box. And this style is the first one, and it is called the telling style of management. And in terms of task and relationship, the task is high and relationship is low, which means then the conversation will be one way, in that if I'm the leader and you're the follower, I will be talking and you will be listening. Now, it's very careful we don't confuse this style with pure autocracy or even going into bullying. This is not about being rude, this is about being clear on what is required so the person has full understanding. There are 4 situations where telling is the most appropriate style of management. Number 1 is when speed is required. When we require speed, we don't have time to have a conversation, so the task is complex purely because there is no time to discuss. We need clear action. And if you think about, if there was a fire and the fire brigade come into your office, you don't want a conversation about what to do. What you want from them is very clear direction. You want them to tell you to leave the building because there is a fire. So our second occasion where we use telling would be if someone actually doesn't know. If you have no knowledge of the process or the business, then you can't have a conversation. Where we don't know, if we ask a question, we need to be told the answer, not have a discussion. Imagine that you are on holiday or vacation somewhere and you need to go to the toilet, and you stop a local and ask them, "Excuse me sir, can you tell me where the nearest public toilet is?" If they turned around and said to you, "Have you been to a city before? Have you ever found a toilet? Where do you think it is?" You think they were being difficult. All you want to know is, where is the nearest toilet so you can go there, and do you need any coinage to operate the toilet? So you don't know, you just want to be told. The third area where telling is appropriate is where we are in a situation of compliance. Whether these be the rules set down by the FDA, the rules of health and safety, the rules of the organisation. Where compliance is vital, we use a telling style of management. The first thing we need to know before we can do anything is what the rules are, and that is a one-way conversation. We may discuss later on, and you'll see when we start to talk about the selling and the participating, that where compliance is concerned, we need to be clear on what the rules are. Once they are clear, then we can have a conversation about how we actually implement the rules and make them work for us. Our 4th area where telling is the most appropriate is for individuals who display a poor attitude. Examples of poor attitude: people who are very bad with timings, people who overcommit themselves, people who should do more but just don't do more, people who maybe have lost their motivation, people generally who can be quite difficult to deal with, people who possibly, when you give them space, do the minimum required rather than maximum, or take advantage of your good nature. So you can see then 4 clear occasions where telling is most appropriate: where speed is required, people don't know what they're talking about, compliance is essential, or people have a poor attitude. All those things make telling the most appropriate.